Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at the Beverley, where the Saints have gone down to a 1-0 National League South defeat to Hampton and Richmond Borough. A very controversial goal that decided the game, Ian, but overall, did we do enough to win it ourselves anyway?
I would say we probably didn't do enough to win it, but I don't think we deserve to lose it. I think, again, Dean's had one save to make second half, and we've had some really good opportunities. I think Solomon should score after 3 or 4 minutes. Penalty spot, keep it to beat, he's pulled it wide. We've had 2 or 3 other chances after that where we've not hit targets. Percy's gone through and should have a shot and he forces it wide. And then you look at our set pieces in the last 20-25 minutes, we've failed to miss the first man on a corner. We've pulled the ball back from a free kick on the edge of their 18-yard box and we've ballooned it out the ground. And then that sums it up for me in the 94th or 95th minute. We get a free kick, we put everybody in the box and we kick it out the ground again. So I wouldn't say we deserve to lose it, but I think maybe a draw would have been a fair result. But I just think overall it was a really, really scrappy game, which was disrupted with lots of time wasting and just really overall. I just spoke to the referee then. I think he booked 4 of their players and 3 of them for time wasting. So I think that just sums up. At the end of the day, they've gone and done a job on us. We haven't been bright enough to go and win the game. They've disrupted everything that's been done, and you've got to say well done to them because their plan worked. Even though I didn't enjoy it, it was just one of them games. At the end of the day, we have to accept it and get on to the next one.
A controversial goal, half an hour it was, 30 minutes. Player number 2 played the ball down the line through Sean Lucian's legs. Unfortunately, the post blocked the video, so he couldn't see it. But the defender put his head up in the air and started walking back. He thought it had gone for a goal kick. Referee David Spain gave a corner, and from that they scored.
I think it was the linesman that gave the corner. I don't think the referee really knew what it was, but I think the players. The players' reaction tells you exactly what's happened, and from our boys, the way we reacted to them giving a corner, and their players reacted to the pass that they all turned their back and walked back for a goal kick. But then things happen in football, and the disappointing thing is the way we defended the corner. You know, 1 ball in, and they've attacked it better than us, and it's obviously cost us the goal. We've had a chance in the second half with Tom Bender's header, which has just gone over the top of the goal. So it comes down to small margins at the end of the day, and for me, we've worked extremely hard today, and it was a tough game there, and we tried to chase the game a bit in the second half and caused ourselves some problems by leaving ourselves a little bit exposed at the back. They never really opened us up and caused us any problems apart from 1 or 2 free kicks. But did we do enough to win it? And that's what we have to say. But we got in some really good areas, and our final decision making hasn't been good enough. And it hasn't been good enough in the last 2 games. As I said on Saturday, we missed too many chances Saturday, and we've missed a glorious chance after 3 or 4 minutes today. And if that goes in, I think we see a different game and a different result.
Interesting to say about how hard we worked. I thought Hampton were extremely hard working, put the 2 together, and it didn't make for a great spectacle. But we've got to overcome these sort of things. You went for a change up front. You started with Nathan Pinney with Charlie Walker and Sam Merson on the bench.
Yeah, I think you're dead right, David. But what we have to, and this is what we've been talking to the players about, and at length, and you have to match the opponent's work rate. And what you've got to realise is that we're coming here 3rd in the league. If we get a point tonight, we go top. So every team are going to raise their game against us, and we have to overcome all of that. We have to overcome all of the shenanigans that goes on, and we have to be bigger and better than that. And Harold's got himself sent off in the 89th minute by a silly tackle when he'd already been booked. David Noble got booked for dissent tonight, which was stupid, because we lost our discipline, and that's the first time we've done that all season. But fair play to Hampton. They got into us. They rattled us. They worked extremely hard, as you said. I've not seen 2 wide men work as hard as they did. And they probably outworked us and outbattled us for long periods, even though we were still looking to try and get something out of the game in the 95th minute. But you know, I don't want to talk about Hampton, but you have to question why they're sitting where they are at this stage of the season, because if they work like that against every team in this league, then they'd win most games. So you can't just do that against St Albans because we want to go top of the league. You have to do that every game. So, and that's something that we're going to have to face on Saturday, the week after that, the week after that, and the week after that if we remain in the top 6 or 7. Chelmsford must face that every single time they play a game because of the way they finished last season. So we have to overcome that, and we have to learn from tonight and realise that every game we play, and we have to earn the right to win a game of football. And for me, we didn't earn the right in terms of the discipline side of it, but the work rate was tremendous. We still tried to win a game of football. We ended up going a little bit ugly and looking for Sam all the time, but they were just fouling Sam. And then when we got the 3 or 4 free kicks in the last sort of 15-20 minutes, our delivery wasn't good enough. So we have to take full responsibility for that. In the end, our decision making, our quality on set pieces, and our attacking the balls hasn't been good enough, even though we created 1 or 2 chances going into that last 20 minutes.
Harold Joseph's first booking was also for Descent. I think his and David Noble's our first 2 bookings of the season for Descent. But getting back to the early point, Nathan Pinney up front. You ended the game with, of course, Merson and Walker up there along with him as well. Well, what can we expect in the next few games? Revert to 1 up front or change?
Well, it's difficult because at the end of the day, if you've got people like David Noble and Solomon, people like that, the first half I felt we kept the ball for fun. We passed it really well. But second half, once David got onto a booking, and he'd lost his discipline a little bit, it was just a matter of time before he gets shown a second yellow there. You know, every time he made a challenge, there was 5 or 6 Hampton players around the referee trying to get David booked for a second time. So it was right to take him off. Otherwise, he'd have got sent off. Obviously, Harold's let us down a little bit. As you say, it is the first 2 players we've had booked for Descent this season. Our disciplining record has been outstanding this year, apart from 2 sendings off for handball. But we lost our discipline, and as I say, at the end of the day, you've got to give Hampton a bit of credit because they got in amongst us and wound us up and got players reacting to stuff. So the answer to your question, yeah, we got 3 forwards. I felt Nathan Pinney first half did really, really well. He held the ball up, brought other players into the game. He burst through on one and hit the side net, and he probably should go back post. But we never really got a lot of quality into him in the second half, and they managed to nullify his strengths, because every time he picked the ball up there was 1 or 2 people back to him, and their midfield players were dropping back in and picking up runners, and we never really got a grip with the game in the second half. I felt we started to go a little bit long, and that's not his game. If we can get the ball in and around his feet, he can hold it, he can bring other people into the game, and we just couldn't get our wide players in the game until probably the last 15-20 minutes. Reece started to try and get into it, picked up a couple of good areas, got fouled a couple of times. We just couldn't get Sean into the game today. We had 1 or 2 opportunities where we got the ball to him, and I think he got a shot away, but the rest of the game they did a good job on him. Their fullbacks defended really well, and as you said earlier, I felt their 2 wide men worked extremely hard, and we never really got to grips with the game. We never really imposed ourselves in terms of taking the game by the scruff of the neck. But you've got to give full credit to Hampton for the way they worked and closed us down and stopped us playing. So it's going to be like that for a lot of times. If you're top of the league, or want to be top of the league, you've got to overcome that. Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson did that for probably 10-12 years, and they always managed to scrape out a 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. And as I said earlier, if Solomon, who should be scoring after 3 or 4 minutes, that goes in, maybe it'd have been a different game.
We now look forward to Saturday, away to Dartford. Expected to be one of our toughest games of the season so far. 10 points from the last 9 games, I think it is. So what we could do ourselves is a big favour by knocking out one of the other sides in that chasing pack.
Well, I think, with the situation is at the moment, if you lose a game now or lose 2 games, you're not going to be out of it, because I think everybody's beating everybody. So even if we beat Dartford, we know the week after that they've got FA Cup, and then they're going to win 2 games on the trot probably in the league, and they'll be back in it. I mean, as you said there, 10 points from 9 games hasn't been good enough. I think the draw at Whitehawk and the draw on Saturday against Hungerford, we should be picking up maximum points. We should be picking up something here on the road today. For me, the least we should be picking up is a draw, and we've let points go. But as I said all along, if somebody was to give me the situation we're in now, I'd have snapped your hands off at the start of the season. We had a fantastic start, and it's been tough. But the reason why it's been tough, because we earned that right for teams to come and obviously cause us problems. If you win 6 games on the trot, teams are going to respect you, and they're going to try and obviously stop you playing and try and nullify all our strengths. Is what they're doing. They're working extremely hard against us, and they're all the things we've got to overcome. We've got to be bigger, we've got to be better, and we've got to make sure we impose ourselves on the game. But the one thing I would say, in all of them games, we've had opportunities to win it, and we've not taken it, and we've not hit the targets. And if we hit the targets and we score goals, that would be the difference between us winning games, drawing games and losing games. And that's where it's been at the end of the day. Some of the top teams have scored 30 goals. I think we only scored 23, 24. But if you go back on chances created in them games, we've probably just as much created as many chances as they've done, but we haven't taken the chances. And at the end of the day, if you don't take chances, you'll get punished in the end. And today's been exactly the same. And we've had enough chances to at least get a result today, and then obviously last Saturday against Hungerford we should have won the game with the amount of chances we created.
Looking at the subs bench, the squad looked a bit thin today. So how's the injury front looking with Kieran Monlouis, Tom Gardner and Zane Banton?
Tom Gardner has operation on Thursday on his finger, so he could be out for anything from 6 to 8 to 10 weeks. He's going to have a wire put into his finger, which is obviously going to cause him a problem from that side of it. Zane Banton, don't know, he might be another sort of 7 to 10 days. You know, we'll work on him again tonight. He's had treatment tonight. He'll have treatment again on Thursday, and hopefully we'll see where he is on Saturday. And then Kieran Monlewis should hopefully be ready to play next Wednesday against Hadley. So as long as he comes through training on Thursday and Saturday, then obviously he'll play next Wednesday. And obviously we signed Tarek Moore, centre half, who's come back from a broken leg. He's been training with us for the last 4 to 6 weeks. But also he'll plan to play next Wednesday as well against Hadley. So yeah, it's been a bit thin on the ground. I think today we probably had 2 subs at one stage, but we managed to get Tarek signed, and obviously Rusty's turned up straight from Cobham with the Chelsea side of it, so that managed to give us 4 on the bench, even though we named Zane. Zane was never going to be taking part today, but it is thin on the ground. But that's something we have to, we knew it was going to be tough with the squad we had, but we have to get on with that at the end of the day. Hopefully Zane might be back for the weekend, but if not, he'll certainly be back for the Hadley game, and as I say, Kieran should be back for Hadley as well.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian. So Saints go again on Saturday. We're down at Prince's Park, away to Dartford, National League South. Kick-off is at 3 p.m.